One. Welcome to the Creative Masterminds podcast.
We here. What's happening?
Yes, sir. Fire podcast. You know who you got in the house. You have Sean Breeze in the house, and you also have,
Cast Thrive. What's going on, y'all?
yes, sir. And you know how we do. We start with a week in review from both of us, and then we hop into the subject. Today's subject is it wasn't networking. It wasn't networking before, but it's networking. But also, we're gonna talk about transitioning like your habit into like a full-time job for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I killed it. But anyway,
We switched it
uh,
up while we was chatting it up. So
yeah. So we're gonna kind of like cover both. And so you know how we also usually do. We start with Cass with his week in review. So Cass, go ahead and tell the people what you got done this week.
yeah, man, worked on a lot of different music and a couple different projects. I'm also working on a 3-song I guess EP you would call it, and
Mm-hmm.
be dropping that soon. And went to Oklahoma, the hometown, to see the family and everything. Again, God bless Grandma. Went down there and got to see the family. It was her funeral, and it was actually uplifting. It wasn't a terribly sad situation. It was uplifting, knowing that she's in a better place, and
Mm-hmm.
she lived to be 91. So, she touched a lot of lives, and it was great to see all the people that she touched, impacted, and the lives that she changed. So, we're continuing the movement. It's motivation. Her blood's in my veins. The spirit, the way she touched our lives, pressing it forward and trying to bless others. And, keep it going.
That's beautiful, man. I love to hear that for sure. For me, my week has been a very cool week. So this weekend I did some activities. On Saturday, I handled some business. I put my laptop in the shop. That's why my view is a little bit different today. I'm using my desktop for the workstation and everything. So that's done. That I should get my laptop back like this upcoming week. So I can work on some more stuff. But before I put my laptop into the shop, I worked on remixing or mixing the remix to the track MLK with Cast Thrive and also JJ3K. It
Let's
is
go.
super duper 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 fuego. I can't wait to like really release it. It's like mix wise is maybe 60-ish, 66% done. Essentially, I need to mix my homie JJ3K vocals and make sure that his vocals are on the track appropriately, like in sync with the beat. And so, but it's a fire verses from both Cast Thrive and JJ3K. And so, yes, it's a dope track. I can't wait to release it. And before that, I worked on some other things, like two other tracks I've been working on. And so, like, yeah, like Cass, I'm putting together a EP of sorts, and then like with that EP, I'm going to start really promote my music, because I feel like I do have a good amount of body of work. And how I know I have a good amount of body of work is the fact that I was in the gym yesterday, and I was really like the music I was playing was really either me or Logic. So I think I'm very happy with that. Like I was playing a lot of my tracks back to back, and like I was, cause so that's it's very dope moment whenever you become a fan of yourself, because I think some people may start out, or at least I start out, I'm a very harsh critic upon myself. And so I wasn't my biggest fan, and I just instead of like beating myself up, I just worked on becoming better each and every day. So I got to the point where like, man, I'm really legit. I'm a big fan of myself. And so it took some months to really get to this point, and I'm glad that I persevere, and I patiently persevered, like the Quran say, and just like just show dedication, and just kept becoming better and better and working every day, and just cool to really see the fruit of that labor come to fruition. So it's just beautiful. So I hope that can inspire somebody out there. Like, hey man, you may feel like you suck now, but keep working on it, keep studying, keep becoming, keep trying to become better. Like I worked on becoming a better lyricist. I would study Nas, I would study J. Cole, I would study every dope lyricist out there, read their lyrics, and understand why their lyrics were so potent and so dope, and then like apply what I learned to my craft and to my art. So yeah, man, just keep working every day. You will become better in due time for sure. So yeah, I did that. And also on Sunday went to a birthday party. Happy birthday to the homegirl Priscilla. She's the homegirl of my wife, and so through that, she's my homegirl as well. And so she had a birthday party, and that's pretty cool because I was able to like interact with people and like just do my thing as like a good social person and just have some good social dialogue with different random people. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, been really chilling, been really cool and low key ever since I put my laptop in the shop. Like I haven't really had any type of computer interaction. Like this is like really my first day on the computer since I put my laptop in the shop. So it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool not having a laptop because I realized that I may be low key addicted to my laptop. Um, but to not have it there, it's like something's missing, but it's still refreshing though.
You
So
went off grid for a minute, huh?
yeah, for real, for real. And it's a good like
Oh,
yeah, it's a good weight off my head at least. It's kind of, so it's interesting. So I'll be practicing some self awareness this week to see like what does it mean, like how I should probably monitor my computer use in the future. So we will see. I'm thinking about maybe having like a couple of days of like no laptops, or no computer time, and where I just like do things without a computer. So we'll see.
unplug, man. We got to
Yeah,
unplug.
absolutely,
That's a
man.
good topic too, though. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. That is true. That's true. And so yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the subject of like networking. And so this well, networking first, and then we're gonna hop into like transitioning your hobbies into a real life job. Or maybe we can do vice versa. 'Cause I think that may be a better starting point of like transitioning from like a hobby to a real life job. Yeah, let's start with that. 'Cause I
That'll
think
be
that's more of a fire topic, and then we can add networking to the tail end of that, if time permits. So yeah, so that kind of came about just thinking about the fact that before like what a year ago, like making beats and doing music and doing photography, all these things were just a hobby for myself. And it's where you work on things in your spare time, and whenever you have the time, like that would mean that whenever we would go on vacation, I would take my laptop to work on beats, or I would do photos or work on photos whenever I go on vacation or whenever I have downtime, because my main job would take up most of my time, and so I wouldn't really have time to do like my hobbies. And so ever since leaving my job, it's been interesting to just trying to make that transition and making that balance of treating my hobby now like a full time job, like you clocking in and clocking out, which means like I have to change like the way I do things. Like I have to change the way like I treat it. Like I can't treat it like I had to work on it. I can't treat it where I feel like I need to work on it all the time, because there needs to be some type of structure there where I make sure that I have it in at least time box, so it won't take up all of my time. Because I think that happens a lot whenever people make that transition from hobby to work, like become a music producer full time. People take the mentality of like trying to work on things all day every day, but it's just not beneficial to you, because you can really over exhaust yourself. And so just thinking about that, we were just talking about that, and so we felt as though that would be a great subject to cover. Just us ourselves, just making that transition from taking things that used to be hobbies for us into like real life, money making things for ourselves. So yeah, Cass, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, man, that's extremely important because it's taking that leap of faith and like the hobbies that those are things that we chose to do. I mean, of
That's true.
course, we could have started it however we did, but we continuously chose to do it and make it a hobby
Hmm.
and to pursue that. To you know make money or to turn that into a business is the American way. And
Yeah.
it's like it's it's good because we're working for somebody else. You're working for their dream,
Hmm.
or that may have been their hobby at some point and then they turn it
Yeah,
into
that's true.
a business. So with us, like, where we're turning things into a business that we started out with a hobby, and you want to do that because that's obviously where your passion lies, or where good energy comes from. You do this out of a hobby, or whatever you do it out of good energy, positive
Hmm.
energy. It's not about the money. It's not about material things. You do it because you enjoy it.
Hmm.
So when we do things because we enjoy it, we're more likely to succeed in it and to push through. If we fail or nah,
Yeah.
we if we fail at it or whatnot, we will continue doing it because we enjoy doing it.
Mhm.
So have doing something in that vein, like for a business or whatever, we're gonna face adversity. We're gonna it's gonna be tough times, and if we enjoy it, we're gonna continue doing it anyways.
Mhm.
And you're gonna learn from that mistake. But it's something that you don't really care about doing, and it's you're doing it just for the money or for to get the girls or
Mhm.
what.
I mean,
we
yeah,
all
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
we all been there or whatever,
Mhm.
so that that'll die down because there's
Mhm.
nothing really behind it. No, that's not a real driving force. It's not
Mm.
really
Mm.
coming from the foundation, the root of who you are. So
Mm.
I think it's
Yeah.
it's a everybody should attempt or push themselves and see how it goes to like turn in a hobby, something that they really like to do,
Mhm.
into something lucrative.
Mhm. Yeah, you talking about like people doing it for the gals and for the money or things that's like I guess object or yeah object oriented maybe I'm not sure how I can really phrase that, but basically doing it not for the purpose of love, that you like purely love doing this task, like that yeah. So I think with that you made me think about like the importance of ensuring that your intentions are pure,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you start out, whenever you're trying to make that transition from a hobby, from transitioning something from a hobby to a job. Like you start with your intention, like what do you want to do? Like as a music producer, I have to set the intentions of like what do I want to create. Like I want to create almost theatrical music. I want to create music that really heals people as well. I want to create music that make people feel less alone in the world. Like those things like really help guide you and ensure that you are whatever end product that you yield from whatever you create is on par with your brand, or on par with who you are as an artist, who you are as a person, as a business owner, or how you want to frame it. Because you can frame it as like a brand, or you as a person, or however you want to frame it. So like ensuring that your intentions are pure and that you start with your intentions is very important. It made me think about like something I kind of heard in passing whenever my wife was listening to Oprah's, I think it was Oprah's book or maybe her podcast. She was talking about, or it was more so Stephen Colbert talking about his show that he had on, I think, Comedy Central, I believe. And I'm not sure if he's still doing late night or not, but anyway, he said like in the process of creating one of his shows that somebody made sure that he put down his intentions of like what he wanted to do with his show. And I remember it was at some point where he was doing the show where somebody had to send him some like a note to remind him what his intentions were. And like those things are just very important to just make sure that you are on the path that you set out to be on, and that you don't get sidetracked from that path is very important, I would say.
Yeah, because I mean, the chances of that happening are very high.
Yeah.
With experiences in life and meeting new people and networking, which we'll talk about later, and all that.
Hmm.
Like it can happen, and you just get back on it.
Hmm.
When that happens, when we take a detour, when we take a L or whatever, that's just part of it. And again, it's important. In order for us to of course the hobby, but in order for us to pursue those things, we got to know a good deal about ourselves, like and
Mm.
that's like searching within, what we always talk about. And you know it's like I was watching the Kanye. He last night I YouTubed it. Kanye went to Houston for Joel Osteen's church.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't. I mean, what? I mean, yeah. What was that about? I
It was
mean.
he pretty much just performed some of his songs from the Jesus is King. But
Mhm.
Joe Osteen said something about like, you know, um, being yourself, like not trying to, you know, appease other people, and not trying to, be somebody that somebody else wants us to be, or be like somebody else. You know, he and his speech or you know what he was saying, it was good. It was like, you know, you gotta, you know, wear your own shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You can only be the best at being you. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
else can be you. You can't be, um, you know, the best at being somebody else, or you know, we admire people in their greatness, and that's good. Like we admire them in their greatness, but we admire, you know, them being in that,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to find that our own greatness, you know, because that's what's going to draw people in, you know, give us influence, um in our the best us, because nobody else can do that. That's why we were made the way we were made, the experiences that we went through. Of
Mm-hmm.
course we had choices and all that, but that I thought that was it was very powerful, profound what he said. I've heard it before or whatever, but he said it in his own way, and it
Mm-hmm.
just rang home. Like, you know, that, hey, you know, you gotta step up, you gotta man up and be you, live up to your name.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else has, you know, however many names a person has. Some people got like five different names or whatever.
Hilarious.
You gotta live up to your name,
True.
um to your fingerprints. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's nobody else. Even twins has the same fingerprints as
Mm-hmm.
another human being. So you have to live up to who we are and who we're supposed to be, you know.
That's true. Because I believe that ensures that you don't try to I'm trying to figure out a way to say it. I want to say go outside yourself, or like you're not trying to be something that you're not.
Yeah.
And so like once you just like focus on who you are, or at least like who you want to be, or what strengths you want to develop yourself, and always make it to the point where it's like a self referral thing. Like make it to the point where you're doing this because you will feel better as a person, and not because anybody else will feel better as a person. It's like what I think about, taking care of the little one. Just doing my thing, cleaning up his poopy diapers. You just doing the normal dad stuff. I forgot what I did the
You a
other day.
vet now. You a
Yeah,
veteran.
I'm a super vet. I'm a super vet now. Like cleaning up poopy diapers. I got peed on Sunday. That was crazy. I'm like, okay, God, I'm like, all right, peed on me, or just taking like for like us going to that birthday deal. I had to take him to the birthday thing myself. Like it was just me, him in the car in the whip. I had to get him prepared for the, get him ready to put his clothes on and everything, give him the bath and everything. Just doing all these different things. And my wife would like, thank me for it, which is cool. Of course, you want to receive thanks for that. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing this because this is what I want to do as a solid father. I'm not doing it for any praises. Like I'm doing it because this is what I want to. This is the person I want to be. And that's the only approval that I'm getting. It's cool to get praises for sure. I love it. It's great. But always ensure that you patting yourself on the back is the most important pat. Like I'm proud of myself. Like I'm like me coming to a point where I'm proud of myself of how I have handled the transition from work life, from the 9 to 5, from the corporate America to this current life, the amount of peace I have achieved over a year and some change. That's like I think it's great. I think it's better than a lot of people can achieve in a year. Just to have a clear mind and have like a clear focus, and then from that, I now have a clear goal as to where I want to go in life, and now know I just want to just plan things out, and then just really attacking and really become a master at navigating the pitfalls of the journey of becoming an entrepreneur, or being a successful entrepreneur. And like basically I'm becoming very excited about this path and the journey. And so I think I all came from me like taking time and making sure that I don't focus on money. I made sure that during this transition that I didn't let money be my God or my guide. Um, at all, as to like what my next move is going to be. Make sure that my intentions are pure, um, at all costs, because I feel like that's that will help me have peace of mind whenever I go to sleep at night. So yeah, all these things are just very important. I'm just very proud of myself for doing that. And so the reason why I bring that up is that yeah, you have to be a person who pat yourself on the back, who is a self referral person, who say, all right, you know what, I did this, and I'm proud of myself for doing it, and that be that. Because if you allow yourself to have allow others to I guess place value upon you, or your values is based upon other people, um, I think you'll just set yourself up to be like just very depressed and at the end of the day, in my opinion. So yeah,
Most definitely. Yeah,
yeah.
man. And that's what it's all about, man. Finding our true happiness, and in that, being able to affect other people's lives.
Hmm.
It's not about just being happy about, that's the thing, about how much we can gain, how much we can rule, and
Hmm.
all of that. But you know, being happy and helping others, affecting others, and
Hmm.
that's when we get down to who we really are.
Hmm.
In most cases, when we are social, when we are networking and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
so that's what it boils down to, because it's like each one teach one, each one help one,
Hmm.
pull each other up, and that's what it takes,
Hmm.
to get there.
Absolutely. For sure, for sure, true. So yeah, you already mentioned networking. So let's go ahead and transition into that part
Slide
about
on in.
networking.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure we talked about it before in our series of podcasts, but we just, it's just very important to be a person who network, who knows how to interact with people, and also interact with people with pure intentions. And so what made me think about this topic was the fact that lately I've been realizing that, like, man, like, well, I just been trying to, like, to talk with more people, like, outside the house. Whenever I go to the gym, I just try to engage with people, just have casual conversation, just because, like, I believe it's healthy just to have human like interaction with other humans. Like, nah, I don't want to be a person who just like on Instagram liking folks and, like, liking pictures and then like commenting with there. That's like that's cool. That's interaction, but that's like a more of a distant interaction for me. Like, it's not really a real deal connection. Like, you don't really feel people's energy through the internet. Like,
Mm.
so yeah, I've been focused on like trying to interact with people, but basically at the gym, I feel like I've been doing like a poor job of doing that. And so I just got to a point where I kind of became a little bit down, like, man, like, what's up? What happened? What's up with me? Like, why am I not like engaging with people like, how I used to engage with people? So anyway, that made me think about my past and how well I would go to like different happy hours, and I will be able to like really talk with different people, engage with different people, and people will like really, by the end of the conversation, they are really, amazed by me or our dialogue that they want to connect. And so anyway, it just made me think about like, I just got to a point where I had to remember who I was. Like I said last week with Simba. I had to remember who I was, like how good of a like a social person I was, because like I guess like me taking 3 months off and focusing on becoming a father, just kind of like I just really left the world to a certain degree, and so now it's like me entering reinserting myself into the world. So I say all that to say that to say this, that yeah, man, yeah, networking is important, and you want to ensure that you have good intentions whenever you network with others, and like and I try to network in a way where I feel like I'm giving something to that person by the time we end our discussion. So yeah, that's what brought about the conversation or the topic of networking this time. So
Yeah, man. We definitely want to be able to, communicate, and with the networking, that's how we show our ideas. That's how we express ourselves, and not necessarily trying to sell somebody something or whatever,
that's
but
true.
we are salesmen to an extent, even just through our conversation and how we present ourselves to others. It's not necessarily trying to get something off anybody or anything, but to be, know that a person is honest, or is, reliable, and all of those type of things. So
Hmm.
interaction, that's a must. We must have that skill. We must be able to network with others, because that opens up doors. Like, you
Absolutely.
never know who we're going to run in at the supermarket, and oh, you do music too?
Hmm.
Well, I have a cousin that does this and that, and that's how things come together. Like,
Hmm.
even how we networked at
That's true.
Yo Mine. It was through, we both Ill Mind was a centerpiece. We both like, he does beats, so we were both like, oh, he's got dope beats. He's got an event. We
Mm-hmm.
both ended up going there. Afterwards, we, talked and exchanged numbers. A year later, we're
Podcasting.
fam now.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
that's how it works. And networking is essential to that. If
Mm-hmm.
we stay in our shell, like, well, if somebody doesn't come talk to me, then I'm not going to talk to them. Or if we both are that way, then how is anybody going to communicate?
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. And that's the funny thing about like just going to the gym for myself because for some reason I had like that mentality of like I don't really want to talk to people or I don't want to really engage with people, and then I just got to a point where like, bro, you being like a straight up lame, like you being
It
like
was
a
that
lame, like
testosterone. You was
yeah, like
walking.
yeah, maybe I'm up here like that. Yeah, you're right. I'm up here rocking all buff and diesel and everything, like, but I'm like, man, you up here like, what happened to you, bro? Like, you used to be like the super social butterfly who can engage with anybody, but now you turn to a straight up herb lame who can't talk with anybody. Like, what happened? Like, so I had to really just check myself, like, bro, like, break out of this. A lot of times, like, it was just like me becoming like having anxiety, me overthinking things, me placing people's value, like me placing like strangers perceived thoughts or what I think people would think if I did certain things above everything. Like, bro, stop it. It doesn't even matter what they think. Just go ahead and get your shit off. Talk with people, engage with people. Like you say, you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you're gonna engage with that could potentially do some life altering thing. Like Cass said, we met at the Illmind event, and now we got a EP. We got a podcast that's 51 EPs deep. Like after this show, this show drops. So 51 episodes, you know what I'm saying? Almost at 52, like for a whole year. I know we've been doing this for a year already, but that's crazy. 50 already. I'm pretty sure that like this is like my longest running podcast. I had like some podcasts before it, but I'm pretty sure this is now the longest running podcast. So very happy. We have to clap it up for that one for sure. But
Right
but yeah,
on.
like but that's just all came from me going to a event, networking with Cass, and then we ended up like Cass said, we bros now. And so yeah, man, networking get out of the house because I know creators can easily just get stuck in the house, stuck in their world, and because it could be fun, it could be a fun thing where you as a creator you're in your world and you creating things and stuff like that. But then like it's a point where you can potentially become a Kanye West. I think that's what happened to Kanye West, man. I don't know for sure, but I wonder if he has his mentality because he just sheltered himself off from things in the world, where he just basically becomes addicted to his own thoughts, and kind of just keep hyping himself up over and over and over and over. And so I just wonder if that's the case with him. And so
That's
out
like
of
the diva Michael Jackson. Like for
yeah,
celebrities, they are in their own bubble,
yeah,
and they are the workhorse, the pay horse of their entourage.
hmm
So their entourage is gonna, tell them what they
oh
want to
yeah,
hear.
that's true.
Keep it coming, feed them
That
the
is true.
drugs, feed them this, whatever,
That's
just
that's true because like yeah, because there are many people who are getting percentages from Kanye, like getting money off of him. And so it is in their best interest to have him work and work very hard and work as hard as he can so they can get those cuts from those deals that he make. And so yeah, you're absolutely right. And you don't know that their intentions are really pure. And so if you're not a person who is like mindful of like saying like, you know what, no, I need to stop this. I need to wait, hold on, let me make sure that my mind is good, and make sure that I'm around diverse people as well who are able to provide me with diverse opinions. Like now I'm cool with people like disagreeing with me because now I'm like really trying to figure out like what's their thought process and like how they come upon like their thoughts. Like beforehand, I would like be very sensitive about like people opinions that would be different from mine, but that would be like me and my insecurities and my viewpoints and my that means that I don't really fully believe in what I believe. And so but like a good example would be like me going to San Diego a few weeks ago and interacting with my homeboy who loves to debate. Shout out to Vince, he loves to debate, and he just like he troll debate. Like he doesn't necessarily have to believe fully in what he's saying, but he wants to just debate just to see people's thoughts and stuff like that. Like, that's how he learned things, I think, because some people do learn by that. And so anyway, we were debating back and forth about different things in life. They just debating, whatever. And like I know we talked about it offline about like the debate about like, is there a billionaire who doesn't take advantage of people? Or like, so like even having that debate was like very eye opening and made me realize that, hey, all right, let me make sure that whatever like me seeking like monetary, like me like basically making sure that I'm not greedy in what and for what I seek in the world. And so that came from like a very beneficial conversation, just like if billionaires are greedy or not. And so yeah, man, networking and talking with people, having discussion with people, especially people who are who provide perspective that's different from yours is very
Mhm.
beneficial because it will help you change your mind process because you may not necessarily agree with them 100%, but they may have something that you didn't really think about that you can put into your belief system, and now you have a better outlook upon life. You can navigate it better. 'Cause I feel as though like basically everybody has their own brand of logic and how they navigate the world. And the more that you interact with people, you're able to pick up other people's logic and the way that they think, and you can see what pieces fit for you and what pieces don't. So
Yeah, man, for sure. And like you said, perception, that is that's key, how we perceive things,
hmm
and got to be open to everybody. I mean, it's not we don't know everything. We never will.
that's true.
We have our foundation and those things that we will not, bend or break on, what we believe on, we stand on, and our, character and those type of things. And the other, that's what it's about. Like you can't allow ourselves to not want to communicate with somebody because they
hmm
don't agree with how we agree and all that. That's just part of communication. That's part
That's
of
true.
the whole game. And you want to challenge, you want to talk to somebody that sees things differently. Well, so just bring that up, like uh, at my grandma's funeral, my mom's childhood friend that used to stay the night, like over there, like way back. She was saying like how she saw my grandma like a year ago, and again, my grandma was like 90 years old at that time, and she was far away, and she said she called out my grandma's name, and my grandma looked, and she recognized her and knew who she was even from far away, and she didn't believe it. She was like, she came up, she was like, you sure you know who I am, or did somebody tell you who I am? She was like, nah, I know who you are. And my grandma started naming things like from when she stayed the night and from her point of view.
hmm
And Diane, Pastor Diane, that's her name, my mom's friend. She couldn't believe that she remembered that, and she didn't even remember some of those things. And then I
Oh
was,
wow.
see, each of us, we have our own point of view. Even like
Mm-hmm.
us at the Ill Mind event, we had our own point of view. Like we were both there, so we
Mm-hmm.
have similar things, but we had our own point of view. So there's things that probably you remember from there that I don't remember, and
Mm-hmm.
then the same, like likewise. So we all have our own point of view, and it's all valuable. So we need to be open to everybody's point of view, and learn from it instead of,
That is true.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you have to be very open, even if it's like people who point of view is like like totally different from your like like I guess like probably like the most obvious example would be like I guess me and a Trump supporter. Even though I'm not really a political guy, I really don't care for politics like that.
Yeah.
But it's like more so like what more than likely that Trump supporter is as a person, like how what he believes about people in his mind as a person. More than likely, we won't necessarily agree, but I am open minded enough to be like, or I can practice enough reserve within myself and be like, all right, he probably knows something about money at least, what I'm saying? Like, what can I, what I'm saying? Tax breaks and stuff like that. Let me see what I can pick from him. Like, or even like I was like in the gym and I was ear hustling this dude who was talking about I guess like some type of form of bankruptcy in regards to like basically I guess like maybe they were talking about if the gym went bankrupt, what type of bankruptcy would they need to do in order to keep the equipment. So I like ear hustling with that. Like, okay, what can I get from that? And so like I don't mind, I don't care. I ear hustle everything and I listen to everything for real. I'll be like
I
What
can
you say?
imagine over there like,
Yeah, a good, yeah, a good example. Like, all right, it's like funny. Like, so in San Diego, we were on the way to the budget, rental car place, right? So we on the little shuttle to there, and there's a guy who's on the phone with this dude, and he does some type of, from what I'm just like hearing, I didn't talk to this guy at all, but from him on the phone, they do some type of thing where they ship products to different companies. It's like B2B, which is like business to business. That what B2B means. And so he said like they were working with something with AT&T where they wanted to ship them something, and some dude messed up the deal, like probably like a couple $1 million deal that this dude messed up. I'm like, what? A couple $1 million? This dude messed up? Like because he was like lazy enough to not ship things to AT&T. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But anyway, I was listening to that, and then wife was like, hey, do you think we should just stop by the store? I'm like, shh, woman, I'm trying to ear hustle. Shh, shh. I said, yeah. And so like I just said that point, like I be ear hustling like
yeah,
a mud. Like I'm trying to pick up everything I hear, you know what I'm saying? But like but of course if I wanted to, I could have engaged and network with him, but I didn't. But yeah, like that's another thing. Just in general, just always have your ears open. Always have your ears open. 'Cause you never know what you're going to hear. Never know what type of tidbit you're going to get from somebody just in passing. I always have my ear open for something. So
that's good, man.
yeah,
I'm gonna take that to the bank right there.
yeah, yeah,
Marshall
for sure.
myself, because you, like they say, we got two ears, one mouth, so
That's true. Yeah, I mean that's like the one of the most important things my mom told me or taught me, and she always reiterated this growing up, is to listen. You may not need it at the time, but it may be a point where you'd be like, oh, I heard this before, and it may become beneficial to you. So listen. So I always rock with that advice. So I listen way more than I speak, and so that's why I've been like practicing more, like actually asking questions, and really getting people to really reveal themselves instead of me trying to talk. Like I'm like, all right, I realize I don't have to talk all the time. I can listen as much and get like a very valuable exchange from that as well. So yeah.
I hope my sons pick that up because I tell them to listen over 50
Yeah.
times a day, both of them separately, 100 times
Yeah.
more than that. It's
Yeah.
over and
They
over.
will eventually, it'll seek in like once they start to see the benefit of actually listening, they're like, okay, all right, you're right, Pops. Like
Learn to listen.
listen.
That's
For sure. You
what
have to listen. Absolutely, man. It's underrated for real. People want to talk and just try to show how smart they are, but a lot of times they end up revealing how dumb they are.
right.
so
Yeah.
listen is I forgot what saying that they had, like saying that the saying about the fool, like it's better to be like not known a fool by speaking or something like that. Anyway, point is listen for sure.
Word up, word up.
Yeah, that's the part. That's a very important part of networking too. Don't just like talk and don't just jump into a conversation like, "Hey, this is what I do." You can ease into it like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like the guy who talked about the restaurant. Like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, man, I heard about the restaurant. Some unfortunate the events about the owner of the place being a douche. Like, man, what happened?" Like being very empathetic in a very genuine way. I'm not saying I was trying to fluff them. I was like being in a very that's kind of crazy too, but um I was like very genuine, like, hey, hey, what's up? I heard about this. Like, oh, you told me what happened. And then that day, that went into just like the logistics of working a restaurant, which is something that I want to learn about. Whenever we start our restaurant at some point. And so, it led to that from a genuine inquiry. So, be genuine with your interactions. Listen. Be willing to listen first. Ask some dope questions. Be focused on asking questions. I would say for sure. Don't be focused so much on like just talking. Like your way, like you can slip your way in, like what you do easily throughout the conversation. But be more so focused on asking questions, listening. Like in the book Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Be more interested than interesting. And so yeah,
Yeah,
very
that's how
important.
you learn, and have some good questions lined up, or some
That's
just
true.
say, oh,
That's
well,
true.
why is the sky blue, or whatever,
Hmm.
something.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be goofy. Like that's what I realize. Like something. Yeah, you end up just being goofy by overthinking it. Like I think it's also cool if you can come up with like a surefire way of interacting with people. Like for instance, I think my surefire way of like interacting with people, like in like, how I can bring on my photography, is like me showing a picture of my son that I took of him with the camera around his neck, He'd be like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my wife dressed up. My son, that's me. I'm a photographer." I said that line verbatim at the Apple store to this guy, and then that led to me like exchanging numbers with the guy, and he wants to hire me to do some videos. And so just that, what I'm saying. So I know like, all right, this trick works, or this method works. I'm gonna use this method a lot now, what I'm saying, and
Yeah,
be, just be smart with it
definitely.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the podcast? I mean, to the topic.
Yeah, man, just always be networking,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, man, that's some great advice and point of view to always be listening,
Mm-hmm.
where you can learn something, gain something, or you know, uh intervene, or get yourself in the mix and help a person out, or make yourself available, like for a service, or that type of stuff right there. That's how it goes down. That's how big business deals, all that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
May start out minute, but it's communication, networking, all that. It's like where some person's strength is another person's weakness, and the other person's weakness is the other person's strength, and
Absolutely.
you power up. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm. Absolutely. True, 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 true. Yeah, man, I agree. I'm trying to figure out if I have anything else to add to it. I don't believe so. So yeah, man, get out there, network. Also, of course, when you're making that transition from hobby to job, saying just be mindful of that transition. Just be mindful of what you of I'm trying to figure out like what good takeaway I can kind of give them from that. Just understand it's going to be a transition. It's going to be a tough. It can be a tough road, and it can be a very discouraging road. Just stay focused. Patiently persevere, have patience with yourself, always seek continued growth every day, and always keep your eyes on the prize. Always keep your eyes on the end goal, what you want to go, and also do like a lot of studying, a lot of research, and then once you like, you'll feel like you'll know when you're ready, and once you feel like you're ready, you'll go after what you need to go after. Because I feel like I'm at that point where all right, I'm ready. I got all the knowledge that I need to get from what I want to get into, and my belief is at an all-time high. So now it's time to execute. So yeah,
straight up. Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
So yeah, with that said, Cats, go ahead and give out your socials.
Yes, indeed. On Instagram, CAS_THRIVE. Also, the Boxing Bell. And also on Facebook, you can holler at me there. And, about that Creative Mastermind podcast, that whole vibe.
For sure. And you can find me, SeanBreeze.com, BreezeLightMedia.com, DeCreativeMasterminds.com. Check all those platforms. You can find me, the media company, and the Creative Masterminds. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stop plugging Instagram, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because just want to be platform independent myself. I'm saying so I'm thinking about it, like, because I mean, I be hearing people getting blocked and stuff like that. Like that's trash. Like people getting blocked, or people getting becoming shadow banned, and people are not being able to find content. That's kind of trash. But so Instagram, I got my eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, me too. But anyway, you too. So anyway, that's it. The Creative Mastermind. Chancellor. And all right, that's it. This has been the Creative Masterminds podcast, Fire Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. And man, we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
We about. Holla, holla.